Hey guys, so welcome to another episode of Work With Me in Real Time. I mean, that's what I'm calling it. It's like a very long title for like a series, but you know, you gotta work with what you got. So I'm working on the Alvar Dog Sweater pattern by Sari Norland, and I'm at the ends of the body. So this is the ribbing, and then and this is the one by one rib neck slash shoulder area. It depends on the dog, but I'm pretty sure this is just the neck. Because I made the smallest size, but I shortened the body by a lot because the dog is very small. It's a chihuahua that I'm making this for. So yeah, and I haven't done the legs yet because that's the very last step. So yeah. So I just want to show you guys how I do the Italian bind off, or some people call it the tubular bind off, but that's a little different in my experience. But people use those terms interchangeably. So yeah, and it's basically the same steps, except I think for some tubular bind offs people do an extra step. And because I want this to be much more stretchy than than what people think for tubular bind off, I'm not gonna do like the double knit, basically. I always flip back and forth, like, should I do it, should I not? Maybe I will. I haven't decided, but while I decide, I'm gonna drink my coffee. And if you noticed the lighting change earlier, my cat is walking along the windowsill, which is up there. So yeah. You know what? I think I'm gonna do the one by one, or the, what do you call it? The double knits. So I knit the knits and then slip with the yarn in front for the purls. So knit, slip. Can you see that? Knit, slip. Oh, cat. I need to put something away because the cat's about to shred my other project that's on the table. So bear with me. And it's hard to do this while looking at the viewfinder or like my phone screen. So I'm just gonna do this part without looking at it because it's really hard to knit that way. Okay, I'm just checking that things are visible. I mean, it might be a little small, but this section is quite easy. And I might have to switch needles size because I'm using a 4-inch on the right side and a 2-inch or 5 centimeter on the left side and a 10 centimeter on the right side. So that just makes it easier for me to just maneuver the stitches, because when the did I just purl? I did. Oh my god. Well, let me go back. Did you guys catch that? Now I gotta look at the other ones to see if I purled it too. Now I'm paranoid. So I'll just undo that. Okay. I think that's it. I feel like I have so much pressure to not fuck up for this demonstration. Well, I hope you guys are working on something as well while I do this section, because it's so tedious. And my cat just walked up on the windowsill, so oops, not in frame at all. Is that good? Okay, I'm at the BOR, beginning around. So now I'm gonna change my 10 centimeter 4-inch needle to my 5 centimeter needle, like my 2-inch needles, because the round is just gonna get tighter. So I'm just gonna do that before it gets like impossible to work or harder to work, and I just don't want to do that in the middle of the round. So I'm gonna just do that real quick. Gotta check that it's the right size, 3 millimeter. Okay, I got my needles on. What's it called? I put my stitch marker for picking around on the right side, and then now I'm gonna purl the pearls and slip the knits. And before I with the yarn in back. Slip the knits with the yarn in back, and then purl the pearls. And this is basically double knitting, but like on the same needles. You don't have to like get a different, like a third needle to do this. I learned this from the petite knit patterns, which is very helpful when you want a stable edge and that tubular bind off look without using a third needle. Oh, am I in frame? Is this really hard to see? I swear pearls are so much harder on smaller needles. Or I guess the way I do it, because it's the Norwegian pearl. Oh my gosh. Maybe it's harder because of the smaller needle size. I don't know. Oh, and just so you know, I'm using Drops Lima in the color Petrol Mix. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I said that in the last episode, but in case you forgot, or maybe you're a new viewer, I totally forgot to introduce myself as well, so I'm gonna do it here. My name is Celine. Which is, you know, the name of this channel. And for my Norwegian purl, I actually still have to tighten every purl because my pearls would be ridiculously loose compared to my knits if I don't tighten it after every purl. So yeah, that's just gonna be how it is for me. I mean, I don't know how people can do the Norwegian purl without tightening it. I don't know. Maybe they found a secret way to do that. And I actually reverted back to my old habits of having my fingers so far away from like the crochet hook or the needle. Yeah, it's just a kind of a bad habit because it just keeps getting further and further away like that. And then I had to tighten it again like that. And yeah, it's just such a bad habit that I have from crocheting. And I thought I wouldn't develop that habit doing continental or doing like any other style, honestly. Because I couldn't even knit continental this way until I did the care sweater where you had to, well, you don't have to, but I opted to learn how to do like knitting continental with 2 strands on your finger. So because of that, I developed this bad habit or redeveloped the bad habit. I don't know. I'm like, I don't even remember how I did the Norwegian style knitting before. Like, what? Like, it doesn't make sense to me anymore. And I don't understand why it doesn't make sense. Because I did that for like a while to even learn continental. And then now I can't even do it anymore. So, and that was like in a span of like 1 or 2 months. Like, how this changed so fast. And there's also a cat upstairs, so if you hear that, that's the cat upstairs. Because they're like doing the zoomies, you know. Oh, and the sun is behind a tree right now, so that's why it's not as bright. I mean, if there is a difference for you, I don't know, but there is a difference for me. So, yeah, just in case. I can't really see the screen that well because I'm sitting down and the screen is like above me, or I'm looking at it at an angle. So I don't know how people can freaking talk and knit fast at the same time. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I also suck at multitasking, so maybe that's why I'm so slow. Can't cross my needles. Okay, finally, I'm at the beginning round again, the BOR, we love. So I'm gonna take it off because it doesn't serve a purpose anymore. Because this is gonna be my last. I mean, that was my last round. So now I have 2 double knits of 2 rounds of double knit. 1 round for the knits, 1 round for the purls. Now I'm gonna measure how much yarn I need. So this is, gotta get more yarn. Okay, so this is 1 round, 2, 3, and I do a 4th for an extra, just because this isn't the max circumference. So you want to do 3 circumferences, but I do a 4th one just in case, because you also need like extra for like the needle, and yeah, you just need extra. So I do a 4th one for the extra, because I find that doing 3 tight rounds like this doesn't give you exactly enough yarn for your needle. So yeah, and then I give a little more extra here, so that's how much I'm gonna cut, and then recount that it is 4 strands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the other side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I have enough yarn for the complete round of Italian bind off, tuber bind off. But honestly, doing Kitchener and the Italian bind off, it kind of feels the same to me. But for Kitchener, you're grafting 2 sets of live stitches, but here there's only 1 set of live stitches here. So that's probably why you can't call it Kitchener. And then I'm doubling the yarn so that I have a shorter length. I don't have to thread all of it at the same time, or like have a super long thread, I guess you could say. Yeah, I don't want a super long thread, so that's how it's gonna be. And I want the other needle to be on this side so that I have enough, I guess. But you don't have to for this one. I just don't want it to be too tight, so I'm just gonna do that. and then set up for my Italian bind off. I'm just gonna do this standing up because I want you guys to see, and please ignore my nails, they're like horrendous. Okay, so yeah, so the first stitch is a knit stitch, so I'm gonna purl that, and this is the beginner way to do it. Okay, and then we're gonna progressively go more advanced. So you purl that, or you went through it purl-wise for the knit stitch, and then for the next stitch is the purl stitch. So we're gonna go through the back, okay? And this is in between the first and second stitch. And now we're gonna, oops, let me put this yarn away. Excuse me while I fumble. And then we're gonna go through the purl stitch knitwise. Okay, you can see that you caught this yarn right there. And then pull it through. And then it's gonna wrap around the front, which is fine. So that's your setup row. Then you want to, this is super beginner version, so it's one step at a time. You knit the knits. Oh, and make sure you go through the back of that, the other yarn, so you don't have like twists. And then you cast that off because now you worked it twice, and then you do the next, you purl the next knit stitch. And then you purl the purl, and then you take it off the needle because you worked it twice now. And then pull it all the way. You don't have to pull really tight, just leave it once it bounces back. And then for the next purl, you knit it from the back. So I'll do it again just for visual sake. So you knit the knit. Knit the knit, purl the knit, purl the purl, and then knit the purl. Okay, so you can see that it's kind of forming already right here. And then I'll do the faster beginner way. So you do both of the knits, this knit and this knit at the same time, and then you do the purls at the same time. the 2 pearls. So I already purled the knit, so now it's taking it off the needle with the knit stitch, and then you purl the next knit stitch, or knitwise, or whatever you want to say. And then for the pearls, you take it off with a purl. So purl the pearl, take it off the needle, and then knit the next purl stitch. I'll do this a couple times just so you can see it. So this is a knit stitch. You knit the knit, purl the knit, pull through. Wow, that needle is so annoying. Let me stick it somewhere. And then you purl the pearl, and then you knit the pearl from the back. And you take off the first purl stitch. Okay, I'll do it one more time. So knit the knit, take it off the needle, purl the pearl, purl the knit, pull through, and then you purl the pearl, take that off the needle. Oof. And then you knit the pearl. And then you pull through. Okay, so that's how you do beginner version / intermediate, I guess, I don't know. And then we're gonna go to the next level up, which is, you know, not too different, I'd say. So you knit the knit, take it off the needle. Oh, but you would have to have already taken off the purl. So take off the purl as well, because it would interfere in the next step. So same thing, purl the knit. And now you have to find the purl that needs to be worked the second time. So this is that purl stitch, so then you purl it, and then and then you have to take off the knit stitch because it's been worked the first time. And you knit the purl. And it's more clear that you're actually knitting the purl here. And then you take that off the needle and pull it a little bit. And then you have to find the knit stitch. And the knit stitch will be a slightly twisted, so it'll be a little harder to see. But this is my knit stitch. And then you purl this, and then you take off the needle. And I find this way gives you a more seamless Italian bind off. And then I think it's maybe harder to see on camera, but so that's my purl. I purl my purl, knit my purl, take off the needle, and pull through. And of course you never have to like do this intermediate advanced version, because this previous one gives you the same result, but this is just slightly neater. And because I like it to be perfect, after taking it off the needles, this is what I opt for. But yeah, you definitely don't need to do this version. And it and if it's much tighter, it'll be hard to see your knits and purls that are off the needle. Yeah, so yeah, it just gets progressively harder to see where your previous stitch is. So now it's like kind of tight, so it's hard to see your previous stitch. So before I got comfortable, I would knit or purl this stitch, but that's wrong, because as you can see, this is where the purl comes in, and then this is the yarn that the purl is on. So if you follow that, your purl should be right above this stitch. Sorry, let me do this off camera because it's hard to see. Okay, I found it. Because it got tighter. So once it gets tight, the stitch gets tighter when it's off the needle. Like, it becomes harder to see where your stitch is. So you might end up doing the wrong stitch. So yeah, this is where it is, and then you knit the purl. And now I'm gonna get more yarn, or pull my yarn through so that I have a longer or singular strand. And yeah, this is just doubling up the strand so that I don't have to pull through like so much yarn. And it also protects it if you're using like a thinner yarn. Sorry, let me just see that. Oops, need to purl the knit. And sometimes it's hard to catch all the yarn, as in it's easier to split the yarn this way. So there are like a lot of cons to doing it this way, but you know, for me, the pros outweigh the cons, because I could just learn how to deal with the cons. So the yarn is here, and then it goes up here past this stitch, which is the last obvious purl stitch, and then you just go above that, and yeah, That's how you get it. I don't know if it's really hard to see because of the color of the yarn, because it's like kind of dark. It's a shade of blue. That is hard to see, and also on top of it, the yarn is kind of fuzzy, so maybe not the best yarn to demonstrate this with, but it's what I got. And this is a project I'm working on, so this is a work with me episode. And did I mention that it's for vlogmas? And it's hard to keep the project steady just because I'm in the air, basically. And for some reason, it's like harder to do this standing up. Already at 42 minutes. So I don't even know if I'll finish before the hour's up. I don't want to upload a whole hour, but I don't know, that might be the thing I have to do. I'm still getting the previous purl yarn stitch for some reason. I mean, one way you could do it is just pull it up. Pull up the stitch you want on the right side. So you just have more yarn in general. Okay, so I got it. And I always check to see if I am grabbing the like pieces of the yarn of a stitch below, because I don't want that. Maybe it doesn't actually matter, but it matters to me. Let me check. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the only stitch I got. So now it's like a little hard to see, but my left leg is right here, right above this stitch. So this is the bottom stitch, which looks like your stitch that you're supposed to purl or knit, I guess. But yeah, it's the one right above it. But I can't seem to only get that stitch. Oh, let me turn off the heater, because that was really noisy. I totally forgot I even had it on, to be honest. And the sun is out again, so maybe you could see it a little better, maybe not. my hair in the way. Okay, now I'm gonna use more yarn for this. I swear to God. So that was really hard to see. So I just pulled the yarn up a little bit so I can see where my actual stitch is. That's my cat triggering a cat toy. So don't worry about that noise. It's just hard to keep this in frame and also like keep it in what do you call it, in focus as well, because I'm just so close to the camera and my hands are like, they get in the way obviously, so it's just, you know, hard to do. See, you see how I pulled up the previous stitch down? Like, that's just so annoying to me. I mean, it won't be that bad if I had it like right here. Maybe I'll just do the rest right here, sitting down, so I don't pull my yarn super tightly. I don't know. Would that be a solution for me for this video? Oh, my cat. Mimi, why are you up here? My cat's blocking the lights, so if you see a light change, That is why. See her tail. Uh-oh. Oh no. She wants the pets. Mimi. Not working. She just stepped on my scissors, so we love that. Oh yeah, sometimes it's helpful to pull on the stitch that's on the needle as you're pulling it off the needle so that your stitch is bigger, so it'll just be easier for the next time you work it. But sometimes it doesn't work that way, so. But you do get a better chance at making that stitch bigger if you pull on it as you take it off the needle. Right, Mimi? You might have to twist your work as you work on it. And fun fact, I started doing it this way because I saw on Instagram that Petite Knit did it this way, and you know, Petite Knit tries to perfect her patterns. So I was like, oh, it gave such a neat, seamless, completely seamless edge. So I was like, maybe I should try that. And it's a fun way to just challenge yourself on like stitches you already know or techniques you already know, but like bring it up a notch so that it looks completely seamless. Like that is such a nice way to make your knits look professional. We love that. Or like machine knit, you know. Although for machine knit, the only con is that you have to seam like every piece. But in hand knitting, you don't have to seam shit if you don't want to. You just have to make it work for you. It's so hard to get this one for some reason. We're almost at the end. And I know a lot of people knit so that it's like relaxing, but I need it to be interesting, so that, you know, my attention is like captivated kind of in a way, but it's so that I don't become bored and then like not want to do it because it's so boring. That's what stockinette is to me sometimes. So I'd rather have an interesting knit than a boring knit. Where is my first stitch? It should be this column. Right, it's this one. It's so tiny. I don't know what happened. It's so hard to see where the first one is. And then I pull it so that there's no like this huge gap. Yeah, if you could see that there's this huge gap, I just pull it close and then not worry about it as I'm working the next purl, which is hard to see. So this is my purl column, but where is my stitch? Okay, so I'm just gonna grab it like this, because there's like this yarn right there. So I think that's my top stitch, and then I'm just gonna purl the first purl, and I or knit the first purl again, so it's worked 3 times, and then for the first stitch or the first knit stitch, I purled that, or knit the purl and purl the knit twice once you come back around. Of course, this is like my way of doing it, but I don't know how other people do it, honestly. So, oops, I need to even that one out. You know what, maybe it won't get evened out, but I don't think it mattered too much. And then now I go down this stitch. I mean, you could do it all in one go, but it's hard to see, and it's hard to catch all the well, I guess it's a knit stitch on the inside, but it's the purl stitch on the outside. But yeah, I just go through only one leg, and I saw this on Instagram as well. And it's just an easy way to secure your yarn. And you don't see it from the other side, so thank God. Because the way that I did it before was really, really, really shoddy, and it didn't exactly secure my yarn. Next stitch is probably here. And sometimes I kind of willy-nilly this part because it just doesn't really matter that much. And yeah, you could just put it through here as well. Because no one sees this part, and this is the what is it called? It's the decreases. Oh no, that's not the decreases, that's the pickup. Where you picked up stitches for the edge. So I usually like to pull it so that there's like the maximum amount of yarn, and then I snip it here, give it a little bit, and then I pull everything tight so that for sure it's not gonna come out. But you don't see that like ever, so that's how I do my Italian bind off with the tubular type. And my cat is just attacking my everything, the yarn, my needles. Okay. Oh, excuse you. Okay. Oops. I think I knocked my stand. So yeah, I'm gonna work on the little leg holes, because this is the hole for the body, and it does stretch quite a bit still, so I'm not concerned about it. And my freaking cat keeps attacking my yarn. She usually doesn't, so kind of weird. And yeah, I'm gonna use this yarn to pick up stitches for the armholes. And I made everything like smaller, so I'll probably talk about that in the podcast, and I'll see you next time. Bye.